On April 5, 1909, the Arizona Gazette ran a front-page story that should have changed history. An explorer named G.E. Kincaid claimed to have found a massive underground citadel carved into the walls of the Grand Canyon. It contained statues of Egyptian gods, mummies wrapped in dark linen, and granaries capable of feeding 50,000 people. The Smithsonian Institute sent a team to investigate. But they didn't go there to excavate. They went there to erase. Today, that area of the canyon is a strict no-go zone. What are they hiding in the forbidden caves? And why did G.E. Kincaid vanish shortly after his discovery? Part 1. The Drift. Location: the Colorado River, Grand Canyon, Arizona. Date: March 12, 1909. G.E. Kincaid was not looking for gold. He was working for the Smithsonian, mapping the mineral veins of the canyon. He was drifting alone on a wooden skiff, miles from civilization. The sun was setting, casting the canyon walls in blood-red shadows. Kincaid looked up. About 2,000 feet above the river, he saw something unnatural. It wasn't a rock formation. It was a perfect archway cut into the sheer cliff face. No trail led to it. It was impossible to reach unless you could fly. But Kincaid was a climber. He moored his boat and spent the next 6 hours scaling the treacherous wall. When he finally pulled himself onto the ledge, he realized this wasn't a small cave. The entrance was chiseled with laser-like precision, and flanking the door were not Navajo symbols, but hieroglyphs. Part 2. The Citadel. Kincaid lit his kerosene lantern and stepped inside. The air was stale and dry. The tunnel didn't look natural. It looked like the spokes of a wheel. A main corridor stretched deep into the mountain, with dozens of side chambers branching off. He entered the first chamber. His lantern light danced on the walls. He gasped. Sitting in the darkness was a statue. It was carved from hard black rock. It sat cross-legged, holding a lotus flower in one hand and a trident in the other. It looked like Buddha, but the facial features were distinctly Egyptian. Kincaid moved deeper. He found a great hall. It was filled with weapons, copper swords, hardened shields, and tools made of a metal he couldn't identify. It was like gray platinum, but light as a feather. "This isn't Native American," Kincaid whispered, his voice echoing in the vast darkness. "This is Oriental." How did an Egyptian or Asian civilization cross the Pacific Ocean 3,000 years ago and build a megacity inside the Grand Canyon? Part 3. The Crypt of Giants. Kincaid pushed further into the deepest section of the citadel. The air grew colder. He entered a massive circular room that looked like a crypt. There were tiers of stone shelves cut into the walls. On each shelf lay a mummy. Kincaid approached one. The linen wrapping was dark, almost black, but it was the size that stopped his heart. The mummy was 9 feet tall. He measured another one, 8 feet 6 inches. These weren't normal humans. They were giants, and they were all male, a warrior caste. But the most terrifying thing wasn't the mummies. It was the device in the center of the room, a large black obelisk that hummed with a low-frequency vibration. Kincaid's lantern flickered. The hair on his arms stood up. The obelisk wasn't stone. It was a machine, and it was still running. Part 4. The Erasure. Location: Washington, D.C. Date: 2 weeks later. Kincaid sent his findings to the Smithsonian. He included sketches, rubbings of the hieroglyphs, and a sample of the unknown gray metal. He expected excitement. He expected a press conference. Instead, a team of men arrived at the canyon. They were led by Professor S.A. Jordan. They didn't bring brushes and trowels. They brought dynamite. "Mr. Kincaid," Jordan said, his voice cold, "you have done a great service, but you are mistaken. This is just a bat cave." "Bat cave?" Kincaid shouted. "I saw the statues. I saw the giants." "You saw shadows," Jordan replied. "The public is not ready for history to be rewritten. It would cause chaos." They seized Kincaid's camera. They seized the metal sample. Then they sealed the cave. They set charges at the entrance and collapsed the cliff face, burying the door under tons of rock. Part 5. The Restricted Zone. Location: Grand Canyon National Park. Date: present day. The area where Kincaid found the cave is now known as the Forbidden Zone. It is illegal to hike there. It is illegal to fly drones there. But rules are made to be broken. A hacker and urban explorer named Zero bypassed the park ranger's sensors. He flew a custom-built drone equipped with LiDAR, laser scanning, into the restricted canyon. On his monitor, the LiDAR stripped away the vegetation and rock. There, 2,000 feet up the cliff, the scanner picked up a void, a massive, hollow chamber behind the collapsed rock face. But then, the drone camera saw something else. Standing on the ridge above the buried entrance, watching the drone, was a figure. It was wearing a modern tactical suit, holding a weapon that looked like a directed energy rifle. The figure aimed, and the screen went black. Epilogue: The Legacy. Date: present day. Location: Smithsonian Archives, restricted basement. A curator walked down the long, silent rows of crates. He stopped at a box labeled Phoenix, 1909. He opened the lid. Inside lay the gray metal artifact Kincaid had found. It wasn't just metal, it was glowing faintly. The curator picked up a file. It read, "Subject: the Builders. Origin: off-world. Status: dormant." He closed the box. History says the Egyptians built the pyramids. History says Columbus discovered America. But the Shadow Dossier knows the truth. The giants in the canyon were here first, and they didn't die. They just went back into the stone. File 099 closed.